The 8th graders at the Westminster schools have recently started reading the Odyssey, a novel written by Homer. The Odyssey is a Greek epic poem about Odysseus' journey home after the Trojan War. It was written almost 1,000 years after the events in the poem, but through the many years of storytelling, Homer was able to write it all down.
But why does the 8th grade at Westminster read a text written 2,800 years ago? Ms. Sido and Mrs. Carvis, tell us about why it's in the curriculum.
I think the biggest reason is it talks about the Odyssey, which, as you all have found out this year through LEAP, means the journey. So it really connects through our LEAP process and through the curriculum.
The Odyssey is in our curriculum because it's the best source of information that is literature-based about the values of the Greek culture. So if we're going to study another culture that isn't ours, then we need the best representative material, and for Greek culture, that's the Odyssey.
Westminster studies many cultures throughout the middle and upper schools, but why so specifically the Greek culture?
It shows students that literature is a product of a culture. And so we picked certain, artifacts from other cultures that we thought were interesting enough that students would want to learn about. And so we started with To Kill a Mockingbird as an American piece. And then we thought, okay, a lot of students are interested in Greek culture, Greek mythology, so we picked the Odyssey as our second one.
The main theme for the 8th grade is that literature serves as a window into the past and a way to reflect yourself. Why is the 8th grade studying the Odyssey as a window and mirror?
The Odyssey, although old and from ancient Greece, does touch on universal truths that all men, no matter what age, what culture, can relate to.
In addition to reflecting the Odyssey on ourselves, what moral values did the 8th graders gain from reading this novel?
Well, I think the biggest one is the definition of a hero. I mean, certainly Odysseus is known for being clever as opposed to physically strong. I think a lot of people think that in order to be heroic, you have to be this strong human being, but being smart, I think, is something that matters, and that it's something we should strive to be.
The moral values that students usually find is that, same in America, you defend your homeland, so homeland security. The Odyssey also focuses on father-son relationships, Greek hospitality. How does one treat a guest? What is respectable? What is expected? Have we changed? Do we do things differently? I think that is consistent across cultures.
But why is the specific history in the Odyssey important to learn?
Students need to understand the context of the Odyssey. For everything that's in the Odyssey is in our pop culture. You know, we reference Cyclops, we reference the Trojan War in many of our products, and our music bands. They're constantly alluding to the Homer and his myths. So I think it's really important that students know where it originally came from.
Adult topics are very present in the Odyssey, and in the earlier years of middle school, students may not have been able to handle it. But now, teachers believe that 8th graders can deal with the issues in the novel.
I would have to say that it's not too mature, but I don't think that people at this age at other schools might necessarily understand and be able to take away the values. You guys have been prepped in a way from 6th and 7th that by 8th, this kind of a text is something you can understand.
I think 8th grade is the time when you're starting to realize that literature can reflect major issues, and that it's not necessarily an escapism, and it's not necessarily imaginative, that it can actually reflect hard, tough, difficult, challenging questions. And so 8th grade is about the time when you're ready, with the guidance of a teacher, to tackle these ideas.
While tackling these ideas and issues, what do the students take away?
I think they take away the element of story. You guys have been exposed to Mr. Meyer, myself, and some other teachers telling the backstory to this, and that's really what the Odyssey was about. They used to gather around at a dinner table for a big feast, and they would tell story every night. That was their television for what we have now.
The Odyssey is a great learning tool, and it helps students understand values and traits to give the 8th grade a captivating story to read and learn about.
This has been Sam Blau
And Christian Hinson
for the Wildcat Press Express.